Have you ever thought of a web application without a database? Probably not. And our application is no different from others, and it has a database too. And we use MySQL database to store user data for our application. So welcome back, and in this tutorial we learn to set up and design the MySQL database comprehensively. The assumptions are MySQL installed on your machine and you have a MySQL client to access the database. If not, then please install MySQL database and MySQL client. The details are on your screen. If you are on a Mac, use SQL Pro, MySQL client, and on Windows or Unix based system, you can use MySQL Workbench. So at present, we are not eager to connect with the MySQL and add database tables and columns. We want to think how our database will look. What are the tables and columns that we want to add? How the tables relate to each other. So we start with the minimum viable functionality that our forums must have and then eventually add features to our application. So let's start thinking on it. What are the essential features that a forum have? The primary characteristic is forum must have threads. And furthermore, threads have posts, and both the threads and the post relate to each other and the users. Initially, we start to develop these features. However, design the database first. So connect to the MySQL using any MySQL client and add the database forums. You can also add the database from the command line, but it is not in the scope of this course. And now add table thread to forums database. So ID is the default field added to the table. This is also the primary key of the thread table. So what's next? The thread has titles. Let's append title field to the thread table. So field name is title and type is varchar and length of the field is 255. Also, the thread has date and time. Let's add a column and name it as created_at. Type of the column or field is timestamp, and check the now allow null column because whenever a user creates a thread, we want to add a timestamp to it. So instantly duplicate the created_at column and rename it as updated_at. The reason is obvious. When a user updates a thread, we must know the timestamp of it. We know user creates a thread. At present, we did not have a relationship between the user and the thread table. In particular, we did not have a user table. Though it is required, but we add the user and its relation to the thread later because our initial objective is to develop the basic layout of the application and subsequently add features to it. Let's add another table post. The ID field added by default. Now what's next? It should have a thread ID. Type is int and length is 11. Moreover, post must have a body. Type is medium text and check the allow null column. Further add created_at and updated_at columns for obvious reasons. Let's create these columns. Type is timestamp and check the allow null column and follow the same for the updated underscore add column. So as of now, we create two tables, thread and post. However, we did not set up a relationship between them. Let's create the relation. Go to the post table and then relations and add a new key. Select thread ID from post table and then select reference table thread and select ID. Also select the cascade from on update and on delete drop down and add. And oops, there is an error. Let's find out what it is. Let's check the ID field from the thread. It looks okay to me. And now look at the thread ID from the post table. It's not an unsigned integer. Let's check the unsigned column and add the relationship now. Add, and job done. Now we can say ID column of thread table is same as the thread ID of the post table. If you want to create it from the command line, then run the MySQL command appear on your screen. Initial database is set up, and in the next section we insert some data into the database and see you there.